Okay, call meeting order, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. So those following along at home, this is the Fairfield Arts Commission meeting of Tuesday, April 15th. We're meeting one. You're on. There's nobody on there, right? Recorded. All right, posterity.
And I appreciate that. For the minutes.
This is a portion where you usually start off with an introduction. So because both Sams have been on Zoom for so long, you guys probably don't recognize them, but they're both here live in person.
Shocking.
Well, Sam is here.
So they usually the last couple of week meetings they've been on Zoom, so they're in person. The first two in the building too. Want to reintroduce them? Approval of minutes. Everybody's gotten the minutes that were sent out. They're here too.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
So moved.
You make a motion?
Yeah. Second.
All right, Sam C made the motion, Sam G second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, unanimous. Okay, marketing and communications update. 10 minutes.
Ooh, 10 minutes.
So
longer.
over the last couple of weeks, the social channels have really started to pick up. We're almost at 180 followers, which, you know, for not really much to promote yet, it's picking up. We did a cross promotion with Explore Fairfield. Experience Fairfield this past week for the event. So people were sharing that. And you know, anybody like I said before, who runs social channels or has access to social channels in town of arts organizations, just keep sharing stuff because it seems to help get some traction. We have 2 more commissioners. I just took their photos to post. We'll post those. And hopefully we can get some, actually I have to get Matt too. Hopefully we can get some good content on Saturday, the 27th. Some photos. So I'll try to stop in the beginning and just grab some stuff. Grab some.
Either make arrangements for somebody to take photos. Or
I'll just do it on my phone, simple. Yeah, and then we have some content.
that's something I haven't.
No.
I mean, FTC may have somebody on staff there that we.
No, we'll keep it simple. Keep it simple. And then from there, probably the next step would be to start highlighting arts organizations. It'll be easiest if we do our own first. That's less coordination. So I'll send out an email to everybody with, you know, what I need from folks.
And that cross promotion, that was when Mary Alice created a Facebook event.
The cross promotion was we did a shared post for the event coming up on the 27th. So both.
She was having trouble because she didn't have access to the arts, spiritual arts.
Yeah, so that's why, which, you know, is cool because there's 2 audiences now. She posts on Experience Fairfield,
Yeah.
and we're like a collaborator on the post.
Right.
So we were emailing back and forth about that.
And who are the
Well,
people?
if you guys are in touch, I'm good with it.
I'm wondering who are have you looked at who the 180 people, like, does it seem like it's mostly, do you recognize names?
I did in the beginning because I went and followed people that I would, you know, or that I knew would follow back. Kind of the strategy has been everybody's organizations here following a lot of people that they follow. And it was great because like when we were posting the commissioner photos, like when I posted your photo, FTC commented, you know what I mean? So it's just good for the algorithm.
Right.
To get that moving. But in the last 2 weeks, especially after the Experience Fairfield post, a whole lot of new names that I don't recognize. And it looks like some are, you know, local artists and things like that, which is great.
I don't know how many followers we have, but.
Have you sent out anything like, for instance, to any of the commissioners to help get more followers? In other words, but you know, some advertising that I can start to send out to follow us on.
Yeah, I mean
that information. So
it's just Fairfield Arts Commission. We're kind of taking the organic approach right now, but yeah, if you have people that we certainly want as many followers out there, so people.
I just didn't know if we have something we can send out to we can start posting and just.
Oh, maybe you want to, when you send out your reminder for folks to come to this event you want to include, please follow us on the social.
At Fairfield Arts.
We'll follow that. We'll follow it, yeah.
And attendees at the event can also sign up.
You could probably put that in your signature
Yeah.
line.
So does Parks and Rec have a Instagram?
Yep,
Parks
they
and Rec
follow
does
us.
have an Instagram.
Follow you?
Yep.
Okay, well, we should I'll post it on Make Music Fairfield. We have
Yeah.
780 followers.
Yeah,
so that-
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what I've been doing too is like when arts organizations in town are posting things like upcoming, I've just been sharing it to our story. So it's like we're starting to promote.
There was a question on that, typically our internal, I don't know what our policy is, I guess, regimen, is we're typically for Experience Fairfield, we're promoting events either by a Fairfield-based organization or events that are occurring in Fairfield. So Mary Alice asked, we have a similar protocol in place for Arts Council because there are a lot of arts events happening in the county and in the state. And so,
If there was one that was posted that was not in Fairfield, it was by an accident.
okay, because she said.
Yeah, if there's certainly could.
She's like, are we supposed to be sharing this? I was like, well, where is it? It's like in Stanford or something. I was like, I don't recognize it. So no.
It may have been posted then by a local organization, because I'm not, I'll be sure to double check that, but
Okay.
yeah, we would have the same policy of just posting Fairfield things. For sure.
Anything else under marketing and communication?
That's it for me.
Is it, sorry, is it possible to get like you might have done this, but I didn't see it when I was looking, like a pre-baked email that we could send to our mailing lists and stuff like that? That's the invite with the,
For the event or?
yeah, for the event.
I'll resend it out.
Okay, sorry, I missed it. Yeah, we could send it to our theater mailing list as well.
Yeah, feel free to customize. I mean, it's kind of
Okay.
generic, but
I finally got mine out today. I've
Okay.
been having so much
we
trouble.
couldn't open your list. We would have added it, but.
And then I could open my list, but sending it to all those people, like instead of just sending 10 at a time, I sent it from our booking software and I had to get on with tech support because it wasn't working. But it finally went 1,045 went out, so
Great.
hopefully we get some people.
I don't have to ask you.
No, I know, sorry about that.
Thanks for asking
I
everyone.
know, that's what I'm here for. If I was on Zoom, I wouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
So,
And we have the mute button then.
That's it.
Hey, man, just a quick question. I think you said no last time, but you're not gonna be available for this event, correct?
No, I'm planning to be there.
Oh, you're gonna be there, okay. And I know you said you won't be there, correct?
No, I will not
Yeah,
be there.
we
You're
had
gonna
talked
be there, right?
about adding this little music component in the beginning last time.
Right,
Yeah.
that he wasn't at that meeting, but we'll bring it up when we get to our part.
Thank you.
Oh, Like, he's got another 8 minutes. Not like you have 8 more minutes, go.
I think I took a little bit more than 2 minutes.
I'm gonna move on to number 6, arts and cultural district designation. I know we sent the letter out.
Just a quick update. Yeah, we did provide a letter of intent to the Cultural Alliance of Fairfield County, who is our designated regional service organization. We haven't really followed up or received any communication back from them. They're to provide administrative assistance or help with us in putting together our application. There are a few steps that we still need to take before we're ready to actually submit an application. One of which is we have to have a community input meeting. Now that could be done either under the auspices of the Arts Commission as a special type of thing, or it could be done, in some cases, it's done before the Board of Selectmen. The Board of Selectmen would also have to adopt a resolution establishing an arts district. I would think it would be based on a referral from this board, and this commission to them to do so. We've been focused on this April 27th event for time being, so we've just kind of let it fly for the moment. But otherwise, we have, the district, we've designated district boundaries. We have a list of arts and cultural assets, including events that take place within the proposed district. So a lot of the documentation we have, we'll still need to coordinate with some other organizations to get, they're asking for overlaps with historic districts, for example. So we could put that together in terms of the actual application. But I think the next step after we get through this 27th event is to have the community input meeting and then make a referral to the Board of Selectmen for them to adopt a resolution. And then we've pretty much fulfilled the core requirements before we put together the actual physical application, which is just a bunch of paperwork. And then I'll be in touch with cultural.
Who attends the community input meeting? And those are
Whoever
the
we
community-
wanna, whoever we want, I mean,
Do we
the
make
ones
that, do we make the announcement at the,
I think we could,
Okay.
if we had that, we can also, since we have a mailing list, we can certainly follow up with the folks that came. Or that have expressed interest in being informed,
okay,
plus the arts and cultural venues, organizations and assets to begin with. You know, I've done some informal outreach to different groups and saying, hey, we're thinking about this. Some of you are represented here, but you know, those that are not represented on the commission, I've talked to a few organizations, said, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? Would you support that? So the idea would be, and the answer was yes.
no, that's what I was waiting for that part, yeah.
So
Yeah.
the idea is to go back to that group
Okay.
of stakeholders and hopefully have them come out to a meeting of some sort and then just say. you know,
Is there a amount of people that we need to
No,
have?
no.
So it's just.
I've looked at the other
Okay.
applications and they've had like 2 people show up at a meeting, you
Okay.
know, a couple of letters of support, and that seems. to
And
be
that's all,
sufficient.
okay, so.
It's just check the
It's-
box.
oh, all right.
You know, this is a state process.
Okay, no,
So it is a check the
Okay, all
box
right.
type thing. In
So-
fact,
so
they
that-
have a checklist.
So, okay. No,
So I've been working my way down the checklist. It's very handy.
Okay.
All right, we started this already, but the community open house conversation on the arts.
Go.
We do have a follow-up meeting with Sam, Christine, and Matt is the subcommittee, if you will, the working group that's been meeting with our facilitators, John Casano and David Green.
22nd.
Our next meeting is the 22nd.
Yeah, that's what we have, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully that's just to finalize
Yeah.
the itinerary and run a show for
Yeah.
that event. Any logistical needs that we have. So we do have a venue, FTC warehouse. We did arrange for rental of tables and tablecloths from Abbey Tent. We do have some refreshments which will augment.
Yeah, Jewishness came up.
Yeah.
Because it's.
We did not consider,
Yeah,
in
we consider the Jews,
fact, it was
but
Passover.
it was at the back end of Passover,
Which is
but it's fine.
big
It's,
miss on our.
oh, it's not,
Macaroons will be there.
yeah, as the.
Would you like a chocolate dip?
As, yeah, that's it, as the representative of the Jewish community.
We also-
It's fine.
We do have a table drape, branded table drape.
Oh,
We
nice.
also have a banner going up on Sherman Green as part of our marketing outreach. We have done some press releases to the press and posted that through the patch. As well as email out to our group, and I think all of you have done the same. We have 42 people that are registered to date. We'll be sending out another e-blast and press release, probably later this week or early next week, but we'll be continuing to post it, and I'll get that information out to you, Matt, so you can share it with your group. And I don't know if you guys want to say anything in terms of the run of show is basically, this is a facilitated workshop, so we're gonna ask people, we're gonna send out a series of prompts before the event to those that are pre-registered, have them think about it. And I brought that with me. The prompts are, what action should the town of Fairfield and its Arts Commission take to better support artists and creatives in order to create a more vibrant and flourishing arts community, or words to that effect? How can Fairfield's resident artists and creatives connect with one another in mutually supportive ways? And what role, if any, do you envision the town of Fairfield and its Arts Commission playing in fostering such relationships? And what types of cultural projects, programs, or activities are you aware of in Fairfield or from elsewhere that have contributed to enhancing the quality of life for residents and artists? So something like that, just to get the ball rolling. People will then respond to those prompts, write their own personal reflections. And that'll be something that the table will talk about. They'll be organized in small group conversations initially. And then a report out, and then there'll be some vetting or
absolutely.
organizing of those thoughts.
Exactly.
And then ultimately organize them in various categories and then talking about, next steps. Is that?
Yeah, that's,
What
and
do you guys
it's really only for Katie, because everyone else is not gonna be here, so.
I have a question. If people have been telling me that they won't be here, but they're interested in voicing their opinions, can I give questions to people that take?
Yeah, I think we can either do, we can either post the prompts somehow and share that with a broader group. So that, or just have people share their reflections through the arts@fairfieldct.org email address.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
not a bad
we'll
idea.
add them to the mailing
Yeah.
list and just keep them posted.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of a conversation, not the end of it, so
Oh,
We could create like a Survey Monkey or
Yeah, I mean,
we could very
Yeah.
much.
maybe send that out.
We actually talked about that as a precursor first step, but I think we're just jumping right into this conversation.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this as, you know, it's as a horrible person to say it, but, data is king, so the more data we can get, no matter how we get it, so we can start building a database, so we can start building the arts community, it's great, so, yeah. You know, the Survey Monkey, whoever, however else we need to,
Google Forms does a good job of organizing data. and
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we could, you know, do a follow-up from this workshop. We could then take the organized list and then ask people to react to that in terms of prioritizing that.
Yeah.
So
but
there's ways in which we can then use a different format to engage a broader audience and have people then react to what we heard at the 20.
And that would be a great thing to link on the social
Right.
channels.
Yeah.
again, we, you know, eventually, we would want to start to create a community that we can have a discussion. But I want to go back to the event, the day of the event, and then for the way it's structured right now, right, is doors open at 9:45, tables will be around, we'll hopefully, again, keep on sending out invitations and have whoever you're sending it to, if they can't make it, please ask them to extend it to their network, that network. We should hopefully double up the number from 40 to at least.
Yeah, we're shooting for 75. It's a rough.
I know, I was gonna say, double it up at 75, I don't do math. So, but obviously, yeah, the more the better, and whoever can't make it, at least they have the information, they start to hear what it's about, and when we do have another one and do follow-ups, they can extend it to other people. We have, city, there's a couple of names on there that are really good, I know there's a City Lights from Bridgeport, the director there is gonna be joining us, so it's extended out, which is fine, so that way we can get some more data and some more conversation going.
We didn't promote it on the Cultural Alliance website because it's a regional
Right.
organization, so we wanted to keep it more Fairfield specific. Not that we're gonna exclude somebody from another community that wants to come, but you know, we're really targeting Fairfield-based artists and people that are interested in the arts that live in Fairfield. So,
And then someone else asked me about, as they were extending out, can we say we have refreshments? I said, absolutely, and not, and coach, no, and say, yes, that we have. You know, because-
social refreshment.
So we have that because that is part of, you know, you're gonna have coffee and things. By the way, a question that did come up, I know I'm jumping a little bit. Can we have food truck, can we ask a food truck to be there, not pay for one, but say, look, we're gonna have 100 people coming for breakfast.
They wouldn't come.
Casey, you want to set something up for a morning breakfast? Just asking.
Usually you have to guarantee like $1,000 or something.
No, usually if you're buying them in, but you mention it, I mean, I'll mention it to Gary, maybe he'll, well, it's super duper weenie, maybe he'll want to do something.
Morning hot dog.
Let's do breakfast.
Oh, it's FTC's show, so.
Okay.
So I'd probably hold off on the food trucks.
All right, that was just a suggestion from someone else that.
We have another event, you know, maybe an afternoon type thing. We
Okay.
definitely have. something
So,
like
so
that.
back to the event is, we're gonna have different tables and we'll have facilitators, commissioners and someone else, you know, that will facilitating the table to get these questions asked, you know, we have these conversations, write them up. We're gonna have the big, boards. We'll write them up on those sheets that, what are they, called?
Yeah, the post up notes.
There's a big post-up notes that we put on the wall, and John will put them up there in a certain order, and we'll have those conversations, so we can get some actionable results. Charlie, you're gonna be introduced as the chair, and you're gonna, you know, thank people for coming to meetings, to turn it over to Matt. Matt's gonna do a little, see, I know you didn't know about that, and it's all.
Oh, I get a pretty good handle on these kind of things. I just like listening to you prattle about it.
So you gonna be doing this?
I know what I'm gonna do.
No, you're gonna be announced, you know.
I'm gonna say, hi, I'm Charlie, I'm the chair, and here's Sam Goldstein.
No.
Sit down and have a Danish and a coffee.
It's to Matt, man. Matt's gonna be on the stage.
Wait, Matt, you wanna share your thoughts?
Go ahead.
in terms of The opening,
we had just talked about adding a very brief musical performance, and there's a fellow that who works in the theater next door to y'all, and he opened every show at the Apollo Theater for the last 30 years. And he just does an opening that welcomes everybody. It's like kind of a classic thing there, and he just retired from there. So it would just be, if it's amenable to everyone, he would just do that. It's a 5-minute thing. I would just accompany him.
Sounds
So-
fun. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's just.
Matt's gonna play? You're gonna play, Matt?
I'm
Yay!
I'm
Oh,
wallpaper.
I'm sorry to miss it.
I'm wallpaper. I'm gonna accompany Joe, who's the show.
You'll see it on social
And
media.
I did,
Yeah.
I did advance with Rob Martineau, the production manager, technical director, who was, I believe, due that day to have a child, so he might.
A couple days ago.
A couple of days ago. Amazing. Yeah, and he's such a pro. He's ready for all the above. We talked it through and we said we'd have a more thorough conversation on the other side of the childbirth. So it should be great.
Good. Sorry, I'm gonna miss it.
So what's an arts thing without some art, right? So-
Yeah, that was.
I know Kevin's
Yeah,
not,
it,
but I
it
believe
just
Kevin
says,
said he'll be in this, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, Matt, I was just checking if Kevin was gonna be here.
no, all good. I may just send a video of what Joe does in the email chain to everyone, so you can just get a picture. It just sets a tone of togetherness and creativity and community. So that's the purpose of it. I'll send it to everyone. So you
That's
Sounds
it,
perfect.
that's it, yeah. And then after that, we go home. And then obviously we do the, sit downs and around the tables and that's it.
Charlie gives us.
Then Charlie gives a speech.
You're talking to Ian about how to configure the room, because I see we have a show Friday night. I don't think it's seated, and then we have a show Saturday night that probably is seated. Actually, they both may be
Yeah,
seated.
I've talked to them, but I think we need to have a follow-up after we meet on the 22nd, just to, and
Because the
Matt,
chairs are a nightmare, and they're really heavy, hard to move around in the warehouse, so you just want to make sure
you haven't
that.
seen anything, wasn't, wait till Abby delivers these rounds, these table rounds.
Oh, you're gonna use those tables? You're not using the FTC tables, or chairs?
We're using your chairs,
Okay,
but not the tables.
all right,
Because you don't have
you just wanna, yeah.
You just
figure
have
that out with Ian.
rectangular tables, which aren't very conducive to having, dialogue. So anyway,
Yeah, you just want to let the guys know, Phil and Ian.
The
as we
rounds,
sit around a rectangular table.
then who's at the head of the table gets the check. Who, on the rounds, how many people can we fit around each 10?
Yeah, 10 would be good.
Okay,
Either 8 or 10.
Yeah.
I think we have 12 on order, so we have
Okay.
plenty of room. We can always not set them up if we don't have enough people.
Right.
So
We have 5 commissioners, you have Mark, we get partial from Connor, so, we get the table set up plenty.
The idea is to, have
My
all of
backers.
you sit at different tables. and help.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask specifically, because I like to be prepared. What should I be expected of and when do I need to get there? And what would you like me to do during this?
I think we'll, in terms of, we'll probably cover the advanced the registration
Okay.
table. But, arrive sometime between 9:45 and 10, and, I think we'll probably have some designated seating, so we'd split people up, have table number on the badge, right?
Okay.
And we'll split all of you up into individual tables, and you're just there as a participant to facilitate that
Cool.
conversation.
shouldn't we be there like around 9:15?
I don't know if we need,
That much.
I'll take some folks that want us to show up early
Yeah,
that help set up, but.
Okay.
Maybe that would be.
Probably 9:30, because people start showing up, people show up early anyway.
I figure if we said 9:45, people show up at 9:30, so,
then I go the other way because it's artists, 9:45, they'll be there at 11.
well,
I'm just joking, artist.
Surprised.
The only reason I'm late is because I teach right up until this.
Okay.
So I have to clean afterwards.
So, no, that's fine, I think.
any other questions?
But yeah.
Yeah, no,
And what we'll do is, and I think she maybe will, to the commissioners and people that are gonna facilitate tables, maybe we'll do it with John. And, make out a little list of,
I don't know that, well,
Just
we can talk
to
about it.
help facilitate.
I don't know there's anything you need to prep for.
Right.
That's my thought.
okay.
I think really the idea is to keep the dialogue, you've all facilitated stuff before, so the idea is to keep the dialogue going and make sure that every person at the table has an opportunity to comment, right? And you have somebody that's taking notes.
You have to write it down
And
and.
then it's, we're gonna lean on John and Dave to kind of pull it
Right.
together and give us some structure.
I think
That's the only thing that I'm glad we got a group here, but I haven't, they're doing this kind of free, because I said we don't really have a budget. Now, we kind of do have a budget, because we have $1,000 in our budget, and $1,000 from the state, which we probably need to spend before the end of the fiscal year, otherwise it just goes away anyway. So did say, if we have money, we may offer you a small honorarium of some sort. So I may want to do that, if that's
Sounds
okay
good.
with you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just to compensate, because they provided like a bunch of time in these prep meetings, and they're gonna be there for 2 hours, so
That
I
would
know they're not counting on it, but
that'd be nice.
just thought it would be a nice touch.
And Charlie, with the extra money, you can get your chocolate covered macaroons.
Well, it won't be
I already,
pretty-
I will.
I'm pretty diabetic, I'll tell you that. All right.
You need
But
a motion for
If I
that.
could say my,
Thank you.
just for Katie, my sense from being in the subcommittee meetings, is this is really the chance for all the other members of public to put in their thoughts as we do in these meetings, and it's, the facilitators are there and we're participating with them, so.
Okay.
No heavy lifting for us, we're part of the discussion. As any other participant is my sense, and if we can help facilitate in any way, I'm sure we can, we could do that.
I don't even know that you necessarily, there may be somebody at the table that really wants to take a lead role, and I wouldn't have a problem with them
Exactly.
doing it either. So
But you don't want somebody monopolizing the whole conversation.
Yeah.
you just need to make sure that it's.
And then what John said too is that there'll be some cards and pens on the table, so if someone doesn't want to scream it out, to have it written down, they can have it written down here, sort of private and honestly, and we'll read through those too.
You don't want to stand at your table, we're not like, you gotta spread it out across the board.
Leave it to my mom skills.
All right, so anything else in that?
That's it.
And on the 22nd, if you have any more information, just email us and let us know.
Yeah, we'll kind of give you a itinerary run of show, I think, after that, but that's kind of the general sense.
New business, I know we talked about the last time on the 18th, Connor and I presented to the RTM. Our what we're doing. And
Aside from technical difficulties, well,
yeah, we got it done in time, and then we told them we'd be coming back next year looking for some money.
Any questions? Did they have any questions, comments?
I think there was one member that had the same questions we have, which, what does it really mean? And we tried our best to answer that and saying, so that we're continuing to investigate that.
I basically told them it's gonna take funding and we're back to see you next year.
I think it's great. I think, and they
I
expect
asked for funding like 3 times during that 10-minute conversation.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Well, believe me, next year that we'll be on that first thing with
we're gonna
the.
need more than $1,000.
Yeah, exactly, to get this off the ground. I know last time, Sam, you weren't here, you talked about maybe a future signature fundraiser, any ideas around that you want to add into?
Well, I know we were talking about it, 501c3 versus the Arts Commission itself, which is, part of the town. If you set for another day, but if we set up a foundation and a 501c3, we could, raise money that way. And people be willing to give money, and it supports the arts in Fairfield. I know someone talked about having an Artist of the Year award. Most artists are very temperamental, and it would be almost not very productive. I think it needs to be a little bit more agnostic. But how about someone honoring someone for outstanding achievement in promoting the arts in Fairfield? Someone who stands out from that perspective. We could do something small, but it would be for the commission. And then we talk about putting a foundation together. That gets a little bit more complicated. I don't know if we have the budget to put something together that needs attorneys. I mean, I'll leave it to the group. What are your thoughts about that? Or to build awareness about what is a value proposition for the town? What are our guiding principles, and what are we trying to accomplish? Is sort of another thing. Build awareness, then raise money. Build to raise, something like that.
I think you probably do need to have a bigger profile before you can really start fundraising in earnest, but I think we're building that now through events like this workshop and the social media profile.
Great opportunity to showcase the arts of town, like, the performances, you know, and highlighting all the assets we have in town. It'd be a fun, you want it to be a signature event that everybody wants to go to,
Mhm.
right? It's, you know when it is, it's fun, it's entertaining, and it's not too expensive. It's not like going to the near and far event, which is what, $500 a ticket or something. Something that really supports the town. I mean, we do something, I don't mind if somebody else wants to work with me on it and come up with have a committee and think about it. Thanks, Lou, for volunteering.
Oh, no.
Been there,
I was
done
gonna
that.
nominate,
Teasing you, teasing
I was gonna nominate her for the award for her Make the Music Day for the first
That's the
person.
best, yeah.
I do like the idea, because doesn't the Cultural Alliance, they do like an artist of the year, a presenter of the year, a fundraiser of the year. I mean, I do like that idea in.
Yeah, I do too. I just think it might be a little bit early because, you know,
Yeah.
once we're up and running, you see who's actually contributing and doing something, then you can honor them, but early on, just picking someone I think it's gonna.
I think this conversation is great, but I think it's gonna be even richer after the
Right.
27th of April.
Yeah.
It's right there with you, and the other thought I was having with you, Lex, was, would be. Find out what we hear from our artists, and the other point is, and you were saying this is, where is that money, whatever it winds up being, where's it going to?
Right.
What are our goals?
It has to be purposeful. It
Yeah,
has to be helping,
It's
Yeah.
for the venue, it's for
It's for-
the,
right.
so there needs to be sort of a.
like I said, it was you know,
like an
teaching
offset.
kids art skills or something
Yeah,
that
well,
is
like a-
really purposeful
yeah.
for the town and is
Correct, yeah.
helping the people that live here.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's gonna come up, it's already come up a little
Yeah.
bit about, again, this idea of a
Yeah.
sort of central center of where the arts can funnel out, so that's where you funnel the money into, so it can funnel out to,
Sure,
you know, so yeah, it's coming up. And
early days, but
yeah, but that's gonna be coming, I mean, I've already heard it from a lot of different artists about a central something,
Mhm.
and that would be where the funding would go to.
Yeah.
You know?
well, visual arts, performing arts.
Central something is the arts. Commission. You are the organizer, just not a place.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, Sam. I think, you know, kick it around a little bit in your head because you came up with a little bit so far. And then after we have this thing, then maybe next month we can
Sure.
see if there's people.
You know, if there was serious interest in pursuing like a 501(c)(3), that's a process. It does take some time. and
That does,
there might be
right.
some
That'll
people
take a year.
Yeah, so, I mean, if that's something that you wanna look at down the road because it may make it easier for this group to raise dollars donation wise.
Yeah.
You know, that might be worthwhile to at least explore and see
Yeah.
if there's an attorney that would provide
Pro bono
pro
too.
bono services or an accountant that would help set it up
I
too.
wish the Cultural Alliance did that. I wish that they helped create 5. I mean, that may actually be something that you hear on the 27th, that people need help making, like, that's something that we've been looking into for Make Music Day. How do we become a 501(c)(3) in Nashville? The retired business executives actually have, that's what they do. They're lawyers, they're ex-lawyers, retired lawyers. And they come and they have a whole alliance, and that's exclusively what they do, is they help different artists and different performing arts organizations become 501(c)(3)s.
I will
Interesting.
say that, you know, the Affordable Housing Committee, which I also provide staff support to, did look into
Stealing.
501(c)(3) status for a housing trust fund. In the conversation with the IRS, basically IRS said, hey, look, donations to your organization, even as a town organization, are also tax deductible. It's just a different section of the tax code. And, you know, I'm simplifying it, but it is possible. It's just 501(c)(3)s are in people's understanding that that's a tax deductible vehicle. So, for
I
our
would say
purposes,
too,
there is some benefit just in terms of branding to
Yeah,
have something like that, because people naturally are inclined to give to a 501(c)(3) versus, you know, some other 501 organization that's more, you know, difficult to comprehend, I guess, without, you know, an accountant working for you.
exactly.
I was gonna say, I think the setup is probably the easiest part. For me, it's the upkeep.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna go beyond us. There's just a lot of upkeep with a nonprofit.
Well, and there's a charter and there's the bylaws and
Directors and a 990 every year. I mean, it's not, you know,
We're gonna grow leaps and bounds here.
the setup is probably the easiest part. You could do it on the cheap, like through LegalZoom, you know? It's the preparation every year.
My understanding, there's a, now you're.
Have
you done it?
I've done it. I mean, there certainly is. We had no money at the time, so legal Zoom was the cheapest option, and
Okay,
I
that's
think it was
good.
under $1,000 to get going. And they kind of walk you through everything. You then wait, though. You'll get your tax ID pretty much within a month. And then I think for us, our 501c3 status took 9 to 10 months.
Oh, really?
But any donations that you get within that time will be retroactive, tax deductible. But it's, you know, I'm emailing with our accountant every week, you know, because there probably wouldn't be employees, but you know, once you start adding employees, payroll tax and the 990 is a big thing every year. So it's a lot of upkeep.
Aspirationally though, something to think of.
100%.
Yeah.
And I also think though, too, if our goals are specific with what we're raising money for, people might not worry so much about what the tax label is. Like if we say, you know, the commission every year awards, I'm making a number up, $10,000 to seniors from Fairfield high schools going on to study something in the arts. And we award scholarships every year. I feel like people, you know, that's something that's easy to give to.
So I don't think we're gonna lose out on too many donations just because it's not tax deductible.
We just have to, you know, make it so that people understand it.
Yeah.
It's not natural, right? More of an explanation.
End goal, I agree though. I think it's to raise some money, would be great.
Okay, any other new business?
Just one last thing, Pequot Library has a chamber music event under the arch. I don't know, and they do that in the summer. I'm sponsoring it. The charity is Lipstick and Pearls for named after my late wife, and so I'm the sponsor. So you got to come. I'll send everybody information on it. Bring friends. It's, you know, that's a great asset to the town. The arts at Pequot Library. When they're not throwing, you know, derby parties, they do a lot of really good art installations and stuff like that, and great art shows. So I'll send you guys more on it.
Super, sounds like something.
I can post.
So people in the library comes to the event.
Yeah,
That's a good point, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All the libraries should be going through there.
Represented.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name? I'm sorry, it's terrible.
Scott.
Yeah, Scott, you know, because I know a lot
I
of
can
people.
send him what I've sent to people because I worked with him on one book one
Oh,
time.
yeah, because he's,
Okay.
it should be networked through the.
Yeah.
So.
Any other new business? Public comment, no public here today, so I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Honor, second.
Right.
Next meeting, once Tuesday, April, May.
It should be.
May 21st,
21, I have 21.
Tuesday, May 21st,
Mhm.
7/14, 21st. Third week, right? We're in April.
I have so many meetings, so I'm confused. May 1st. Very good.
Well then, I don't see you on the 27th.